Hi, it's Lauren Taylor, and thanks for joining me back into my craft room today to see what we're going to make with our brand new distress color, Villainous Potion. Isn't this amazing? I absolutely love this new shade of purple. It is stunning, and it totally reminds me of Disney villains like Ursula or Maleficent. It's amazing. We have our Distress Spray Stain, our Distress Oxide Spray. We have our Distress Paint, and we also have our Distress Ink pad as well as a re-inker. This color is just so beautiful. And of course, my favorite, Distress Oxide. I just love this. It's re-inker. And then we also have my mom's favorite. We have the Distress Glazes. Beautiful. And then a fun little enamel pin, which you can get all from scrapbook.com. They so wonderfully gave me this package to create with, and I am going to kind of just swatch everything out. Take a look at how beautiful this color is. So I'm taking the Distress ink and using one of my scrapbook.com dome foam applicators and applying it to some scratch paper, which apparently had a little bit of water on it. But you can see there how beautiful and vibrant that purple is. And let's take a look at it next to the Distress Oxide. I'm grabbing a different dome foam applicator because we don't want to mix those two together. And I'm going to rub that on the other side. And oh my goodness, it's so dreamy. I'm getting Ursula vibes so much with this color. It just makes me, I want to make some like evil sea witch cards. And here they are together. So pretty. I'm going to spray them, grab a paper towel and pick up that water. And here you can see what it looks like with some spray. Beautiful, right? Okay, so let's clean this off and we're going to move on to our next set of mediums. We're going to bring out our sprays. First up, we have our Distress Spray Stain. So it's brand new, giving it a couple squirts here to see what it looks like on some white paper. Very beautiful. Again, more of a deeper tone than our Oxide spray, which I have already shaken. And there you go. You could see that color. So let me bring back the Distress Stain, and you can see the two different shades of that color between the two different styles of ink. Now we're going to check out this glaze, and I just have a Versamark pen in my stash. I'm just going to rub it against some scrap paper again, not really being careful about my placement of the ink or using an embossing buddy or anything like that because I'm just swatching it to check it out. I'm going to flick off the excess, pick that up before I make a huge mess, and then with my heat gun I melted that glaze down, and you can just see how beautiful and vibrant this color is. It's gorgeous. I keep saying it's beautiful, but I mean, it's beautiful. So we're going to keep calling it beautiful. Here is the paint. I'm just going to peel this off and flick it all over myself. And I have a paintbrush. I'm just going to pick up the excess from the packaging and rub it onto or paint it onto this piece of scrap paper so you can see how that color looks as well. Again, such a beautiful jewel tone. It's stunning, and I'm so excited to have this color in my collection. So here we have all of the different mediums. You can see just how beautiful they are separately and together. So I had a lot of requests for really going into detail how I put together these Thinlit colorizes and my scrapbook.com paper pads. So if you don't need to watch this, please fast forward. I put chapters in my videos so you can skip ahead to any part in the video that you don't want to see. You can skip it. So I'm starting with Pumpkinhead, and I'm cutting everything out according to, as best as I can, the colors that are listed on the back of the dies. I have put double-sided adhesive sheets behind all of my cardstock except for my cream colored, like my first piece. So this is going to be the backing of all of this Pumpkinhead die set, but all the rest of my pieces have a double-sided adhesive sheet attached to it. So for any shade of paper that I couldn't get from my paper packs, either because I didn't have it or it just wasn't going to match well, I'm bringing out my Distress Oxides and adding some color to them. I have everything listed down below if you're like, what color did she just use? This is so fast. I just wanted to show the steps of how I put everything together and how you can use double-sided adhesive sheets just to help glue these awesome die cuts together. So again, I am starting with Pumpkinhead, and then I will move into the costume party die set. So I'm just going to leave you with some music while this all gets put together. I will interject as I need to, but if you have any questions or comments or need more clarification, leave me a comment down below. You can also message me on Instagram or Facebook, and I will do my best to clarify anything for you. So thanks so much for sticking with me through this long video. Again, you can fast forward if you need to, but I hope you enjoy this process. Okay, quick little interjection. I messed up here. I'm gonna realize it, and luckily I'm not using crazy tape that sticks as soon as you put it down. It takes a little bit for it to really seal. Um, because I forgot to put the red down. So you'll see I put his black layer and then the gray layer or the black 2 layer, and I go, wait, this isn't right. So I peel that off and then I grab the red. So the red is going to go first before our black. So just a heads up because it's the red is like the inside of the cape it needs to go on first. But I figured it out and it's all good. We're moving on. Okay, you've made it this far. If you watched all this, thank you. It means a lot to me that you would take the time to watch me put all of this together. But here are all of our Colorize costume and Pumpkinhead. I'm only going to be using my costume party Colorize little monsters here on my card today, and my Pumpkinhead will be used on another project. So let's get creating with our Villainous Potion, Distress Oxide, and some other colors for my stash. I'm bringing out my glass mat here because I want it to be easy to clean up once I'm done distressing, and I'm going to be making a 5x7 card because it's a lot to put on a card and I want that purple to really shine through, and I want my cute little costume party monster. So I'm going to start with creating a kind of a sunset night sky. I started with the color yellow on the bottom, which is fossilized amber. Then I brought in some peeled paint, and then I brought in prize ribbon, which was the last color if you don't remember. And then now finally Villainous Potion. I just can't get over, look at my hands. I was like, oh my god, this color is so beautiful. So I'm going to color up the whole top part, and I'm not going to edit anything out. I want you to see this purple in all of its glory as I distress it onto my cardstock here. So once I'm happy with the amount of purple, I'm going to bring back in that prize ribbon and really blend into the purple to get that blue back, and as well as some more of that green. And it's just turning out so pretty. But because it's a night sky, I do want to kind of darken the edges just a little bit. So I'm going to bring out black soot, and I'm going to distress kind of just in the corners, make it a little more corner heavy, and then along the top and sides until I'm happy with my nighttime sky. And of course, we need to add some splatter. So I'm going to bring out Villainous Potion in the Distress ink, and I'm going to spray it with my water spritzer and get a brush. And I'm going to keep spraying water until I get a nice fine splatter. Unfortunately, I hit it a little too hard with the water and I get a little bit more of a chunky splatter, but that's okay because this first layer is going to be more about oxidizing that ink. So I'm going to pick up the ink and water with my paper towel, and then I'm going to go again, and this time I get a little bit of a lighter splatter of what I wanted in the first place. So I'm going to leave it like that and set it aside to dry and clean up. Now for the ground, I'm going to bring back out that peeled paint color, and I'm going to distress this whole piece in this color. I'm going to create, I wanted like kind of a spookier looking grass, not really vibrant. I want it to be more deeper toned. And I'm going to accent that with Rustic Wilderness and Black Soot. And then this time I'm going to splatter with the black soot. And once I'm happy with the dimension and how it's looking, I always use a post-it note or some mint tape on my fingers just to help with not getting my fingerprints everywhere. So first I did splatter with my distress sprayer to create those droplets, and then now I'm going to add in that black soot. So made sure to clean off my paintbrush, and then I'm splattering on that black ink. Because it's an oxide, it's not as intense. It's more of a gray kind of color. That will get set aside to dry, and then I die cut some of the shapes from the Thinlits set called Ghost Town Set 2. There's kind of this graveyard scene, and I die cut it out of gray cardstock. So I darkened up the kind of the hilly ground part, but left any of the like the gravestone and the gate and the cross in gray. So there's kind of like a two-tone look to it. So now that everything's dry, I'm going to back my green ground here with some foam adhesive, and I'm going to adhere that to the bottom of my card base, making sure it's lined up straight. And now I'm going to work on laying out all of the details onto my card. So I'm going to glue all of them down with wet glue or foam adhesive. So this large mansion spooky house in the back is going to get glued down with wet glue. And my grave will also be glued down with wet glue, but to the ground. My moon, and clouds will also be adhered with wet glue. And then my cute little monsters are all going to be adhered with foam adhesive. So I will have to double up anything that is touching the sky portion of my card because my ground is already popped up, I guess you could say one level. So my monsters are going to need 2 levels where it's on the sky part and just 1 on the ground. I hope that made sense. And I'm just going to show you how I'm kind of layering everything out and just putting everything where I think it's going to go at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and glue and adhere everything off camera because you don't need to see me glue these down. Just showing you how I played around with my layout. I do space out my monsters a little bit more, as you can see here, because I wanted that graveyard scene to be shown. And that is the final card. It's ready for a card base. But of course, gotta add some shimmer and bling. So I'm just grabbing some sequins from my stash. I wanted them to have an iridescent kind of purple hue to go to match my purple sky. So I'm just going to use a jewel picker and some wet glue and adhere a bunch of those down in my sky. So let me clean up here and slow down my video so you can see how fun this card is and check out my purple sky. Like I said, this Villainous Potion is just so dreamy, so vibrant. I hope you'll check it out. You can use my links down below in the description to check out all of the different mediums you can get this color in, as well as everything I use to create these cards. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you'll click like, and if you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.